Yeah, so that's a great question. So one of the grand challenges I think is that we're increasingly more sophisticated in the approaches that we are able to take scientifically and in engineering and even from a manufacturing perspective, to make life-changing therapies. But one thing we've not been very good at is figuring out how to do that at a reasonable cost. And we will, over the next 30 years, likely reach a break point where our society simply can't afford all of the new therapies that we're developing. So we're going to need to think about how do we do this, and this is going to be particularly challenging because one of the other grand challenges is how do we personalize therapies? We know that pretty much every therapy we make, let's say that gets FDA approved, there are certain patients that benefit and certain patients that don't. So, we're trying to come up with approaches to personalize therapies, but if we get down to the point where we have, an N of 1 for each therapy or therapeutic approach, that's going to be very challenging financially and logistically in many other ways. So how do we actually personalize medicine? How do we develop these increasingly complex therapeutic approaches, but do it in a way that's practical? So I think that's going to be really a big challenge. Certainly the increased ability we have for data analysis, computing will probably help us quite a bit with that. But there's, I think, a lot of challenges we haven't really even thought through yet and how we're going to address this. So I think, that's kind of two elements that I think are going to be really important, is balancing this increasing complexity and all the challenges that come with it, and the need to personalize medicines and come up with the right therapy for the right person. So let's see, on a really big scale, I think that's probably the kind of the biggest thing from my perspective.